Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. We are here today because we're discussing the Skull and Bones release trailer that just came out as of yesterday. Skull and Bones, in case you don't know, is a upcoming pirate game created by Ubisoft. There's some things I think we need to talk about with this game. Now, let's go all the way back. Okay, let's talk about Ubisoft's last really successful pirate game, which was Assassin's Creed Black Flag, right? And that game came out in, if I'm mistaken, around 2013. So it has been nearly 10 years since that game came out. And those of you who are OGs who remember those days will remember that Skull and Bones was announced very shortly after. It was announced very shortly after Assassin's Creed Black Flag, but they tried to essentially ride off of the success, sail off the success, if you will, of Assassin's Creed Black Flag and the pirate trend to continue this success they got from it. So this was the first set of footage that we got for Skull and Bones, right? We got this sort of sea combat with a lot of points, a lot of multipliers, RPG elements at sea. The only difference is, I think this trailer, as opposed to the footage that we just saw, that we saw in 2018, I think this trailer is quite deceptive. I know, right? Ubisoft being deceptive in their trailers. But I think this trailer is quite deceptive, and I'm going to explain why I think that. So here's why this trailer is deceptive. The very first trailer, or it was a gameplay trailer, the very first gameplay trailer had no problem showing you what this game was about, right? It showed you that it was sea combat, and that's all it is. That's what it shows us. It doesn't show us anything else. It shows us getting resources, shows us fighting other players, fighting NPCs at sea, right? This is clearly a game built for sea combat. Now, it has been a long time since we've seen this trailer, so clearly a lot of stuff has happened behind the scenes. They've most likely changed a crap load of stuff, and it does seem like that. It does seem like they've changed some stuff since then, as it should be. But this trailer really tries to drive home the concept that we are going to experience a Sea of Thieves type of open world adventure. And I'm not going to say Sea of Thieves is a great pirate simulator, but let me explain what I mean by this. The way this game trailer has demonstrated how this game is played based on what they've shown, what they've said, really makes it seem like they're trying to make us think that this game is going to be one where we are on an island, right? We get our supplies, we get what we need, we hop onto our ship, we go around the seven seas on our ship, basically doing whatever we want, right? We can attack NPCs, we can attack players, we can raid fortresses, we can go to islands and look for treasure, all of that jazz. That's really the vibe it's trying to send us, and that is not the vibe that I'm getting. Not in the slightest. And let me explain what I mean. Let me show what I mean here. Let me show what I mean. Let me unmute this. I just want to make sure this isn't too loud. It's not. It's not too loud. Okay, good. So it's saying like, oh, go to these places, discover these islands, fight these fortresses, raid these places, all of that stuff. Here's the problem. Every time it shows our heroes like on an island, or boarding a ship, supposedly doing these things, doesn't show it often. It shows it in two different settings. The first setting it shows it in is this one right here. This is the first setting it shows it in. Going to your home island or an outpost, right, as they said, and going around to the different shops, walking to those shops, talking to the shopkeepers, crafting whatever you need, putting in whatever upgrades you need, all of that good stuff that we want to see, right? And that stuff is great. But all we're seeing is him walking around, talking to people. This is all we see when we see our character controlled by the actual player. And I'm not talking about I'm not talking about ship control. I'm talking about our character, our pirate. Because let's remember, piracy is more than just ship combat, right? It's the cutlasses, it's the walking the plank, it's the treasure hunts, the skeletons, the gold, boarding. All of that stuff is what the pirate experience is to me when it comes to a video game. And right now, it seems like they're really trying to sell that whole thing, but all we're really seeing is just ship combat. And all this socializing with other players stuff that they're trying to show off here, like this is going to be nothing more than Destiny Tower. It's going to be the last city tower in Destiny. That's all this is going to be. It's going to be a place where people can go to just get their upgrades, to finish their quests, maybe do a few emotes, and then leave. There is actually going to be nothing to do here with your character. Fine, right? Let's say that's fine. Let's say whatever. This is the home spot. This is your sanctuary. This is where you come to be safe. Why should there be anything else? Fine. That's perfectly valid. My concern comes when it shows us things. Here, let's skip ahead here. It's showing us all of the sea combat, right? It's showing us all the beautiful landscapes, and it does look beautiful. I mean, Ubisoft games generally do. They're technically very proficient, right? Resource collection, that's great. Right, we're gonna get to do some crafting. There are animals, wildlife, and it showed you in like first person, right? You can look at them, you can try to spear them. That stuff is great, right? That stuff is cool. So when you take on other players and their ships, you can destroy their ships. You can destroy their ships, and you can hit their weak points to do that faster. That stuff is cool. And there are different classes of ships, which is also really, really cool. I like that there are different classes that have different abilities. But they say that you can sink your ships, or if you want to get all their cargo, you have to get in close and you have to actually board the ship. Now, how many of you want to bet that instead of like Assassin's Creed Black Flag, which is seamless boat-to-boat boarding and ship combat to hand-to-hand combat, seamless transition, how many of you do want to bet that it's going to be one of those scenarios where you get their health down to a certain level, and then you just press a button, and this animation right here, not this one, this animation right here is the one that plays. They open the chest, it says, oh, you got your supplies, you got all your gold, and that's it. That's you boarding the ship. Why do I think this? Well, I'm going to tell you why I think this. Here's the gameplay trailer. And this is from June 11th, 2013, so this is old. Right? Showing off the very first thing they show off in this trailer. They show off our hero. They show off Edward in his little home base, and he is walking around an island treasure hunting. That is the first thing that they show us. They show us the ship combat later. The ship combat comes at the end. And it's because they know what they're selling. They're selling a pirate exploration game that has ship combat. That's exactly what they're doing here. If we look at Skull and Bones, it is not the same thing. And look, it's going to show him going all the way up to the top, and then he's going to board the other ship. He's doing it in a really slow way, but he's going to board the other ship, get 2 kills, take out his swords, and start fighting. This is how they showed off this mechanic for Assassin's Creed Black Flag, and it is cool, you guys. It is cool. This is the game I want to play. The game that lets me go onto my ship seamlessly. It's another thing, by the way. You can just go onto your ship seamlessly. Look, run, 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 run. All this cool stuff is happening. All the parkour, all this awesome shit. Right, he's going, there's your ship. He's running, he's running, he's running. Oh my god, it's so epic because it's a pirate epic where you're going from land to ship to land to ship. You get onto your ship, you're ready. All right, let's go. Naval combat now. The same exact thing happens here. It's seamless. It's seamless. You go from land combat to ship combat, back to like land combat. Well, I guess it's still ship combat, but boarded ship combat. Like, it's seamless transitions. Guys, this game came out in 2013. This game came out in 2013. And it has the stuff. Let's look at Skull and Bones. Oh, this is not the right one. Let's look at Skull and Bones. Skull and Bones starts off showing us, you know, on an island and stuff, but it's not showing us walking around this island. It's not showing us doing anything. It's showing us on the island acting as a designated tower from Destiny 2. It shows us some ship combat, which is cool, right? Ship combat is great. But then when it shows us boarding, when we finally get to see what the boarding looks like, it's just a cutscene. It's just a goddamn cutscene. When we look at them saying like, oh, explore islands and, you know, go to these islands, find this stuff, are we seeing them do anything on these islands? Treasure hunts, investigations, dynamic events, all that stuff that happens on land. We're not seeing that happen on land. I haven't seen any hand-to-hand sword combat. Nothing. It's just been animations of them opening chests and walking around and looking at stuff. And they don't say any of this. They're like trying to play this off. Like, they're saying, oh, you can go to islands, you can go on treasure hunts, you can board their ship, right? They're saying all this stuff with the implication that you are actually going to be doing it. But from what I'm seeing versus what they showed here in their Black Flag trailer from 2013, which is supposed to be the game that this game is like essentially a spin-off of, we don't see any of those same elements. We just see cutscenes here, versus here we see it actually happening. We see the player doing all of this stuff. That's the thing that is worrying me about this game. It's the almost deceptive-like attitude they have, that connotation, riddled in this gameplay trailer and in what they're saying. You can do this. Can I, though? Can I board the ship and actually take their resources, or do I press a button and the game does it for me with a cutscene? Can I go onto land and actually treasure hunt, or do I press a button and the game sends my character to land with a cutscene and gets the treasure? Which one is it? Now, I don't want to take away, I'm going to caveat this a little bit. I don't want to take away from the fact that this game seems to be taking one of the most popular aspects of Assassin's Creed games, period, ship combat, which is one of the things that made Assassin's Creed Black Flag so popular, ship combat, and almost perfecting it or improving it, getting it to a place, my dog's biting my chair, getting it to a place that is polished, that is fun, that is competitive, both PvE and PvP, right? That stuff's great. That's awesome. I think that's really cool. The part that I have a gripe with, well, there's two parts, really. The first part is the lesser of the two, which is when I want a pirate game, when I'm thinking of a pirate video game, I want a game that has all of it, that has the whole experience. I want to go into a game and be like Jack Sparrow, right? It's not just ship combat. It's cutlasses, you know, swords, exploration, you know, things like that. More than just ship combat. Essentially, there's no other way to put it. More than just ship combat. More than just the singular mechanic in another one of their games. You know, that's supposed to be the whole thing for this game. That's my first gripe, is that I just want more from a pirate game. Not only does it seem like the variety is not there, but leading into the second gripe I have, they're trying to play it off like the variety is there. And that's really the thing that's bothering me. They're not coming over here and telling us, oh, this is a pirate game that's based on ship and naval combat to it. They didn't tell us that. They're trying to make it seem like this game is more like Sea of Thieves, where we're on a ship, you see that island, you can go to that island, you can board it, you can, you know, see whatever's there. Sea of Thieves, most likely nothing's there. But that's what they're trying to make it seem like. We have not seen any of that. Maybe that is how it is. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this isn't just exclusive ship stuff, right? But how would I know? They didn't tell us. They didn't show us. What they're telling us is somewhat contradicting what they're showing us. They're telling us we can board that ship and we can get the cargo, but we don't get to see us board the ship. This character didn't just board a ship. No. This character went into a cutscene and opened a chest on that ship. That's not what we saw here. Here, we see him boarding a ship. In a really cool way, I might add. Right? We see him exploring islands. Hold on. We see him exploring islands. We see him doing all this stuff. And if you look at other gameplay footage that came out after this, you see the treasure hunts and all that cool shit that makes Assassin's Creed Black Flag, quite honestly, the best pirate game out there right now. And has been for 10 years. We don't see that shit here. They just say, oh, you can explore. But they don't show exploration beyond ship exploration and beyond the character. Every now and again, I can't even find it. Like, it's so hard to find. Every now and again, the character walking on an island looking at stuff. Like, I can't even find it. Because they know they don't want to put too much of that in there. Because even though they're trying to make it seem like this is a full exploration pirate game, it's not. It's straight up not. And they're not telling us that. This trailer... Listen, I was excited for this game when it was first announced back in 2018, because I've wanted a pirate game that's kind of like... I want what Red Dead Redemption 2 did for old Western games, for like Wild West cowboy games. I want a game that does that for pirate games, right? And I've been waiting for that game for a long time. Sea of Thieves was super disappointing. This game I thought was going to be it back then, and it's just not. But just looking at this trailer, and just at the gameplay, and just at what they're trying to tell us and imply, to me it's implying that it's going to be a full-ranged pirate adventure, and it really doesn't seem that way. I hope I'm wrong. But it just seems deceptive to me. I can't help but get a feeling of deception from this trailer and this gameplay. Anyway, well, that's my rant. Those are my thoughts on the new Skull and Bones gameplay trailer. Again, I hope I'm proven wrong. I hope there is more to it, but they just haven't showed us anything beyond ship combat. No matter how much they're implying there's more, they've shown us nothing. So it worries me. It worries, because if they had that stuff, they would show it off. There's no reason not to show it off if they had it, just like they do in this trailer, and they don't. They don't show off any of it. They talk about it briefly, they touch up on it, and they give just enough information to keep it vague. And then they go back to talking about the ship combat and stuff. I'm just gonna say it. I don't know about the rest of you. I do not play a pirate game for ship combat. I expect there to be ship combat as a part of it, but my pirate game should not be all ship combat, or even majority ship combat. Ship combat should be an add-on to it. The majority part should be the exploration aspect. You know, getting quests and going to islands and exploring those quests, dungeons, things like that. Alright, that's enough. That's all from me. I gotta go take out my dog. Catch you guys on the next one. See ya.